How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store summer sale continues to run, and in this video we're going to be looking at game deals under the price of $20. I know we're really hitting every price threshold at this point, but I don't know if we're going to go above $20. I don't know if the options at that point are very plentiful, but under $20 there are definitely some good options. We got about 11 deals to go over, so let's just get right into it, and let's start things off with one of the best deals across the entire sale, and that's Dying Light Definitive Edition, which is 75% off for $12.49. What a great game Dying Light 1 was. Most people, I would say, consider Dying Light 1 to be better than Dying Light 2. No slight at Dying Light 2, but the fact is, Dying Light 1 has had a plethora of updates released, and Dying Light 2 is still going for, like, you know, at least $35 to $40, so if you haven't played Dying Light 1, why not just pick up Dying Light Definitive Edition, get a very, very well-rounded experience, get an experience that's been upgraded for PlayStation 5, which, credit to Techland for doing that, because they didn't have a lot of reason to do that, but man, they've kept Dying Light 1 very much supported, and it's just a great game. Parkour gameplay is great, narrative's pretty solid, and the gameplay in general, the combat's pretty decent as well, and visually it looks quite good. So $12.49, great deal on that. Next up, a collection that I often recommend, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Legacy, $17.49. I've talked about this to death, but Storm 1 through 3 are pretty solid games, and Storm 4, of course, the latest game. So if you want to play a game a Naruto game that you're going to play with all of your friends, Storm 4 is probably going to be that game, and this collection includes Road to Boruto. Otherwise, the other three Storm games also offer varying degrees of quality single-player components. Storm 1 single-player component isn't a really good retelling of the original Naruto. Storm 2 is an exceptional retelling of the first portion of Shippuden from the beginning until the end of the pain fight. And Storm 3 offers quite a bit to like as well. Storm 4 has a little bit different of a single-player component, but it's pretty decent as well. $17.49, pretty good for everything you're getting. I should say really good. Alright, next up we got Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, 50% off for $19.99. Kind of a hefty price point for a game that did essentially come out in early 2019, but the Special Edition is refined, it is improved, and you are getting a very, very good action game. Yes, I am the person that didn't think Devil May Cry 5 was going to be good leading into its release. I just thought Capcom had peaked at that point, and I thought Devil May Cry was coming back and it wasn't going to be a good game. Boy, was I wrong about that, because Devil May Cry 5 was tremendous. Just a very, very well-made action game that really just embodies the fun factor of action games, which is what I like to see. I never really get that invested into the Devil May Cry story, but there is a story there, and I know a lot of people that do get invested into it. Oh, and by the way, soundtrack to this game, Devil Trigger, still tremendous. Just what a great soundtrack to this song as well. $19.99, great pickup, would strongly recommend it. Next up, we got Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2, another Capcom published title, 60% off for $15.99. I know myself and many of you are very excited for the Battle Network Collection. That'll come in 2023, but for now, the X Legacy Collection is still a worthwhile pickup. You'll get X1 through 4 in Legacy Collection 1, X5 through 8 will be had in Legacy Collection 2. Look, I think everybody would agree, Legacy Collection 1 is the stronger of the two collections. Legacy Collection 2 has some solid stuff. X2 I thought, X5 I thought was really good. X8 was solid. X6 I wasn't a big fan of, and X7 is just like unanimously hated by everyone, so yeah, take that for what you will. X1 through 4, quite good. Wish it was Maverick Hunter X. What can you do? We're not going to get everything we want, but X1 through 8, $16, I think that's a really solid pickup for this, all things considered. Next up, we got Judgment on PS4, 50% off for $14.99. Not on sale for the PlayStation 5 version, which is a bummer. That version is a little bit more expensive, and it's not even on sale right now. It's $39.99. $15 for the PS4 version will have to suffice. Judgment's a really good game. For a lot of people, this is probably the most accessible game out of the Ryuga Gotoku Studio titles, just because it has that traditional style of gameplay, English voice acting, and it was built for the PlayStation 4, so visually, it's a very good-looking game, and story-wise, a lot of mystery, a lot of intrigue, and very engaging the whole way through, a lot of variety in the gameplay as well. $15 for Judgment, I think, is a great deal, and would strongly recommend it. Just a solid pickup for the price you're paying, and a lot of content for your dollar as well. So from that standpoint, you're making out like a bandit as well. Definitely a worthwhile pickup. Of course, if you want to get familiarized with the Ryuga Gotoku Studio titles, the Yakuza games will be headed to PlayStation Plus Extra, so that is pretty exciting. That'll be starting in August, so that'll be happening right around the corner, but exciting times ahead as far as that's concerned. Alright, next up, we got Doom Eternal, 60% off for $16. The Deluxe Edition isn't on sale, so this is just the base game without the DLC. Doom Eternal is quite good. You've got a PS5 upgrade here as well. It's a visceral, bloody first-person shooter. You know what you're getting yourself into with Doom. I always do recommend Doom Eternal over 2016. Look, I think you should play both games. They're both really good, but Doom Eternal I really enjoyed, and depending on the difficulty you play on, you know, you're gonna have a bit of a varied experience, but a fast-paced, high-octane first-person shooter, and actually has a bit of length to it as well. So $16 I think is quite good. Primarily, I would say pick this game up for the single-player component. Next up, want to give a shout to Mafia Definitive Edition. Now, this is available in PlayStation Plus Premium, so that is the top tier. $14 for this, 65% off. This is a full-on remake of Mafia 1. It does change a couple things. The ending is done a little bit differently, but overall, Mafia 1 is a great game. If you want a crime, narrative-driven experience, I think Mafia 1 is something you'll really enjoy. It's got a world to it that I guess you could call an open world, but it's a more contained experience that keeps you going on a kind of a linear pathway. Mafia 1 was excellent, though. I thought narratively it was very strong. It's not a super lengthy game. Like, this is a game you can probably complete over one weekend if you're free. A couple sessions and you'll be done with the game. But you get in, have a good time, get out, and it's a pretty solid time the whole way through. $14 I think is a pretty good deal. Probably around the price I'd pay. Like, $40 is a little bit steep for a game that you can complete in around, 8 hours or so, but yeah, 14 bucks I think is quite good. Next up, also available in PlayStation Plus, this one on Extra, Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, 50% off for $17.49. Man, Final Fantasy 15 was one of the more interesting games that have been released over the last decade or so. Obviously, well documented that this game had a absolutely tumultuous development cycle going back to 2006 as Final Fantasy Versus 13 ultimately became Final Fantasy 15, had some really big narrative flaws, which was so unfortunate to see, but with the Royal Edition, you do get the DLC content that ties up a couple things from the base game. You get some updates and upgrades in there as well. And overall, from a gameplay standpoint, I still think Final Fantasy 15 is a super stylish, super enjoyable game with a lot of content. Visually, obviously, it's outstanding. Like, seeing some of the battles and locations, it's a pretty remarkable game from a technical standpoint, and there's a lot to like in the game. I went into it expecting a high-quality narrative. Did I get that? I wouldn't say so, and you can make the argument, hey, you gotta watch the Kingsglaive movie, hey, you gotta watch this anime, you gotta read that piece of literature or whatever. You guys know I can't read, so Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition for $17.49 I still think is a great deal, but just don't expect an enthralling and engaging narrative to this one, but expect quality visuals, a pretty enjoyable open world to explore, and a lot of content on top of that. Next up, give a shout to My Hero One's Justice 2. Man, really good discount on this. 75% off for $14.99. Now, the game does have some DLC and whatnot, but the base game at $15 I think is a great buy. My Hero Academia, to be fair, is one of those anime from recent years that I do enjoy. At least I did enjoy it for a while. Kind of fell out of it, but picked up My Hero One's Justice 2 and had a great time with it. Like, much like Naruto Storm, it's a fun arena fighter that if you're a fan of My Hero, you'll probably enjoy the game quite a bit. One's Justice 1 had the issue of just lacking content, and One's Justice 2 really does refine that quite a bit, and $15 I think is the perfect price to pay. I've heard mixed things about My Hero recently. If you guys have an opinion on My Hero with the recent season, should I jump back into it? Should I start watching it again? We'll see. I've also heard a couple things here and there about the manga that I don't really know what to think about. I don't think it's fair for me to judge it just based on hearsay, but I will say My Hero One's Justice 2 is a pretty solid game, so go check that out. Next up, we have Catherine Full Body Digital Deluxe Edition, 75% off for $12.49. I often recommend Catherine, it's just I don't recommend it at full price because the game is a little bit on the shorter side of things. It does have a healthy level of replayability, that is fair to say. You've got multiple routes and whatnot. With the Digital Deluxe, you get the full game and some DLC content that isn't, anything must-have or anything like that, but, Catherine's a quality game that I would recommend. Very wacky, very zany, very over-the-top. Like, if it's your first foray into Japanese games, I don't know if you're really gonna enjoy it, but Cool game to play with like a significant other as well. Pretty over the top, definitely an over the top game, but $12.49 I think is pretty good. And the puzzle gameplay I thought was pretty well done on top of that, even though it is mostly a narrative-driven title. The narrative is quite good, albeit, again, over the top. It's just expect a little bit of zaniness and wackiness going into it. Lastly, I do want to give a shout to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. 60% off for $16. Is available with PlayStation Plus Extra. Obviously, if you're a fan of Castlevanias, Metroidvanias, everything like that, this is a quality game. Can get challenging, but I thought it was good from a visual standpoint. I thought the sound direction was quite good. $16 might be seen as a little bit pricey, but for the content you're getting, I think it's pretty good. I enjoyed Bloodstained Ritual of the Night quite a bit, and it's not like I was like a huge Castlevania fan back in the day. Like, I could get down with Castlevania. I liked the games back in the day, but Bloodstained is definitely a game that I ended up enjoying for what it brought to the table. And again, quality visual style, aesthetic style, and gameplay. It's pretty good as well. Again, available with PS Plus Extra. But that is going to do it for me. Again, quite a few good deals under $20 right now with the summer sale. We went over deals under 10. We went over deals under 5. Check out those videos if you have yet to. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for all of the support with our recent videos. They've been doing quite well, so we appreciate that a lot. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.